somber tone falls upon the NXT universe as we say goodbye to an undisputed era. All around me are familiar faces, worn-out faces. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestle YouTube channel. I am Aaron X and I'm here to discuss NXT, and as you can tell, I don't think my heart can take this, but we'll soldier on through. For the sake of our YouTube subscribers, we will soldier on through, and we will find a new era to live through. All heartbreak aside, NXT starts off quite well, actually, to be fair. It's not all heartbreak. The Way have Austin Theory back, which means Johnny Gargano is going to extract revenge from Dexter Lumis. Just one problem with that, because Indy Hartwell has got psycho fever, baby. She's making eyes, and Indy Hartwell is looking at Dexter Lumis the same way I wish Liv Morgan would look at me. Anyway... Sorry, we're getting sidetracked a lot here, but this was actually a really good match. Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis are two of the best workers. Man, Dexter Lumis is so underappreciated, and I actually think I'm genuinely coming around to the idea of him having big main roster appeal. Wrestling has gone beyond fantastical now. It's in the realms of stupidity a lot. And NXT has held on to some sense of reality a lot better than the boys down the road. And that's not to say that AEW Dynamite sucks. I just don't think it's as good. Sorry. And this show for me proved exactly why I like WWE NXT just that little bit more. And that's not to say there aren't fantastic talents on both sides. But this match proved that. I just don't feel like that's the kind of match that Dynamite would have been able to produce and take too seriously. It would have been a clusterfuck. What was great about this match was, not only did it have the nuances of storytelling, Austin Theory not being able to hit Dexter Lumis with the chair, Candice Raven, what the fuck are you doing? What's wrong with you? Indy Hartwell making googly eyes. I like the fact that Indy Hartwell and Austin Theory are kind of almost separating themselves from the Way, slowly but surely. Dexter Lumis picking up the win, passing out Johnny Gargano, whose facials are amazing, by the way. It was just awesome. And like I say, nuances of storytelling, but also world-class technical wrestling too. Some of the mat wrestling involved in here, some of the chain wrestling was actually fucking phenomenal. I think Dexter Lumis deserves a lot more props. And by the way, because he's a legit artist, he has by far and away one of the best looking t-shirts I have seen. I've got to bag me one of those boys at some point when I am finally not poor, because that is a sweet tee to look at. Dexter Lumis, no doubt, will be getting a North American title shot at some point. But Austin Theory, he's going to be getting therapy, according to Johnny Gargano. I like the fact that there's this Stockholm Syndrome thing going on. And Johnny Gargano even mentioned that after Wade Barrett had mentioned it on commentary. By the way, Wade Barrett, for some reason, not at the show. Don't know why. Shame, really. But he is absolutely fantastic. And I'm really digging this three-person dynamic on NXT's commentary team. I genuinely have come around to the thought now that I feel that this is the best commentary booth in all of wrestling right now. I don't think it's even close. And I don't want to hear people giving me all that shit about Old Man Brigade over on the other channel because, well, frankly, I think they're a bit of a joke. And something that's a joke over there that isn't a joke over here is women's wrestling. Once again, NXT stamps itself down when it comes to women's wrestling. Zoe Stark is given an opportunity out of nowhere to face Io Shirai, the champion. And you're thinking, okay, we've only really seen this girl once or twice. How is she going to rise to this kind of occasion? She goes out there and has a blockbuster match. This is a fantastic women's match. This is genuinely one of the better women's matches actually I've seen all year, and there's been some fantastic matches. What a great representation of how to get a talent over in no time. She's been here for what? A cup of coffee? People are saying she looks like a meaner looking Shakira. That ain't a bad thing, by the way, because Shakira, mwah. But ultimately, she goes out there with Io Shirai, has a world-class match, doesn't get in the way of the rivalry involving Toni Storm as well, because obviously Io Shirai beats her, as you would expect. Toni Storm comes down looking redonkulous as well. Thick thighs, they do indeed save lives. And she says, where's my title shot? Why are you ducking me? Essentially, you didn't pin me at the last takeover. And ever since then, you've been doing everything you can to get away from me. And William Regal makes the title match for 2 week's time, we're going to see Io Shirai versus Toni Storm for the title. That's a takeover-worthy main event, and here we have it on WWE NXT. What more could you ask for from your women's division? Oh, I'm sorry, NXT aren't done yet, because Xia Li is here to purge Kacy Catanzaro, and purge she will, my lord. The Mortal Kombat trailer just came out, and by the way, I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below, because me and Carl Wilkinson, who joins me on the podcast sometimes, we love it. We think it looks great, but man, I've seen a lot of whinging on social media. I don't like the fact that the Mortal Kombat music isn't quite as fast as it was in the Annihilation. You people, you can't have nice things because of you people. But one thing I will say is Xia Li, she should have been in this film. The whole setup, the whole gimmick, it just works beautifully. Again, another great physical contest. People have been moaning, why is Xia Li running over scrubs? We want to see her wrestle genuine contenders. Boom, they put her in the ring with Kacy Catanzaro. She has a far more competitive matchup, but ultimately destroys her. And like I say, she definitely purged. Looks like she broke her leg. Kayfabe or not. I noticed some of the dirt sheets were running with a genuine broken leg. It was quite a nasty little maneuver, but I can't for 1 second think that it was genuine, because ultimately it doesn't seem like the kind of spot that they would tee off on unless they absolutely knew that she could do it without causing serious damage. So let's not forget, Kacy Catanzaro is made of some futuristic, elastic rubber compound that we somehow just don't understand yet. She's probably an alien, but she's a beautiful one, so we'll let it slide. And she's very talented. And Xia Li comes out, it's looking like a monster. Yo, that's back-to-back women's matches. Both delivered excellently with great storytelling. Take a note, Tony Khan, instead of dressing up like a world-famous sex offender from Britain. Just saying, the Jimmy Savile comparison is a little bit alarming at this point. NXT's tag team division as well proved why it is better booked. They may not necessarily have the most talented tag team division in the world, but they have the best booked for me. The creative is fantastic. We got to see both of the Dusty Classic winners in these fantastic little vignettes. Very quick, but very beautiful and very emotional. Seeing Zachary Wentz, aka Nash Carter, talking about his father who passed on when he was in high school. It just felt quite real, and it made you love and care for MSK, aka the Rascals, just that little bit more. Incredible. I'm sorry, but if they had gone to AEW Dynamite right now, they would be in these no-mark flippy matches with no storytelling whatsoever, wrestling guys who keep dropping themselves on their own heads, and it just frankly would be a little bit lackluster. And if you want a good example of that, look at LAX, who are literally doing nothing. They had a title match last week. Congratulations, their first title match in 18 months in the company. What's that? LAX, one of the best and hottest tag teams of the modern era. Yeah, we'll wait 18 months to give them a tag team title match. Fuck's sake. And on the flip side of things, we actually got great tag team wrestling as well. GYV jumped MSK, and Wesley has a broken hand. Don't know if that's a shoot to try and, get him off of TV because he may be legitimately injured. But GYV rock up, and they have business with Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, who are fucking fantastic. Because I love the dynamic. It's this heavy metal angry music, and then Drake's like, hey, what's going on? See, you get the fun, you get the amusement at NXT too, but it doesn't go stupidly over the top and turn into a fucking carnival or a circus like it can do on Dynamite. And case in point, this matchup. Brilliant. By the way, Zach Gibson, he needs to cut a promo quite literally for everything. I think Zach Gibson is sitting on a lot of money right now, and I honestly believe that he is going to be a mega star because he does something that so many wrestlers can't do, and that is he's a world-class worker, but he's also a world-class mic worker. He's as entertaining as he is athletic and technical, and that is such a rare breed in the modern era, and he is perfect for WWE. And if I'm anyone in upper management and I'm watching NXT and I see Zach Gibson, I'm like, ka-ching! That's money right there. Mega, mega heel. And also, we heard from James Drake, which is very alarming because James Drake never, ever talks. And obviously someone in WWE management was like, yeah, I want to hear you speak just a little bit, please. Hopefully next week, Zach Gibson will come out and be like, yeah, we gave you an opportunity to speak last week. You're not doing that again. You just stick to being a world-class wrestler, mate. Let me do the talking, sunshine. Great match. Great tag team match. Fluid, effective, technically excellent. Great storytelling, obviously, involved. Simple but effective psychology. And, of course, after GYV pick up the win, because, of course, they're going to pick up the win, because they are soon to be recognised as Liverpool's #1 and NXT's tag team division #1. Backstage, Killian Dane, quite sweet, he's holding up Drake Maverick. It's like a scene from 300, one of his fallen brethren. He's like, no! And in comes Alexander Wolf of Imperium and goes, what the fuck is going on here? I'm pretty sure me and you used to be monsters, Insanity. What are you doing, bruv? It worked very well, actually, and I'm interested to see where this goes. Are they going to have a rivalry with Imperium, or is Killian Dane going to go back to being a destroyer, a heel, maybe join Imperium, in which case that will be unfair, because that will mean that they have quite literally 5 of the most devastating wrestlers and 3 of the world's biggest fucking smash mouth hosses, at least as far as NXT is concerned. Can you imagine Alexander Wolf, Volta, and Killian Dane? Not to mention Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner, and Eichner especially. Those are not small gentlemen in themselves, and they're highly impactful and highly violent. The 5 of them as a unit, that's just unfair. That's just it's already unfair with the 4 of them, so you stick Killian Dane in there. Oh, but hey, Killian Dane versus Volta down the line. Mwah. And what's weird about that is I actually saw that many years ago in York Hall for Rev Pro. It was Big Daddy Volta versus what he was then known as Big Damo. So it'd be really cool actually to see that rivalry revisited at some point. Very excited to see what they're going to do with this rivalry. And that's just a little nuance as well. We also had Swerve jump in Leon Ruff. That's good stuff. Good continuation from last week. Malcolm Bivens. Can we have more of him on TV, please? Because this new gimmick of him sitting in the training room and going, shh. I think that's fucking money. I love it. And Malcolm Bivens is genuinely so entertaining. Again, that's another guy that you feel, you know, if he was on a different program, he may not necessarily get the cut of the jib that he deserves, and they are very slowly but surely factoring him in more and more to TV, and that can only be a good thing. I actually feel like Malcolm Bivens is main roster ready. You can send him up to the main roster, have him as the manager of one of the bigger talents over there. I actually think Malcolm Bivens maybe taking over from MVP, if MVP wants to take a leave of absence for whatever reason, would be fantastic. I love the idea of Malcolm Bivens trying to separate Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander and stuff like that. It just seems like it works so well, and I'd love to know where you guys think Malcolm Bivens would fit as well. Leave in the comments below. Who do you think Malcolm Bivens would be a good manager for on the main roster? I'm very curious as to what you guys think. Now, the main event of sorts, Karrion Kross versus Santos Escobar. And I was so excited for this. And of course, the dumb smarks are out in force to go, he's a cruiserweight champion. Why is he facing a man who's clearly too heavy to be a cruiserweight? This isn't the UFC, okay? This isn't like, you know... I love it. These people watch the X Division, don't bat an eyelid. But as soon as they watch WWE NXT, they kick off about getting this combination. I think it's great. And I tell you what this felt like. It felt like Hitman versus the Cartel. It just worked. The dynamic was really good and the match was so good as well. And again, another match where you thought, this could have gone a little bit too over the top and a bit out of control on a different broadcast. But here it is. And it's just kept just in the right place. And some of the set pieces in this were fantastic. The use of the truck, the way that the henchman got the better of Karrion Kross, and then Karrion Kross snaps, and Scarlett being in the arena and almost kind of, you know, giving more strength to him. Scarlett and Karrion Kross have a real Undertaker Paul Bearer feel for the modern era. Something a little bit different, obviously. It's not the same, but it's the, you know, the similarities in terms of the psychology and the presentation are there. And I absolutely fucking love this. I've said for weeks, nigh on months, years in Karrion Kross's perspective, I believe these two are megastars. I believe these guys could be headlining Manias. I really believe that. I think both of them have so much going on in totally different ways. And I am so excited to see what Karrion Kross is going to do, because I believe it's not too long now before they want him on the main roster. It's been out there for months now. They really want to push him and get him up to the main roster. And I think he'd be fantastic. Imagine if Drew McIntyre wins the WWE title back at WrestleMania next night and Rory comes out and says, do you know what? We did it. We did it as a team. I did it in front of fans. And then Karrion Kross just violently assaults him and says, you are only champion because I have allowed it up until this point. Tick tock. Writes itself. Easy money as far as I'm concerned. But there's a number of things that Karrion Kross could do on the main roster, and I am here for it. And man, if I was WWE management, I'd be desperate to get him up even by Fastlane. So take it easy, take it easy. But this match was fucking awesome. I love the spot where he smashed him through the plexiglass. That was so fucking cool. Also, little nod to Blake Christian, who you saw in the background, kind of going, oh shit. I weigh 170 pounds. Why did I sign up for this? I'm going to die. There's a look in his face of like, ah, shit. I liked it, thought it was great. But the match was brilliant, it was hard hitting. And what I loved about it was Santos Escobar, he's a unit of a man. Just because he's a cruiserweight in terms of weight doesn't mean he isn't jacked and he can't handle himself. And of course, he's got his henchmen. So I like the fact it wasn't just a one-man demolition. They got Karrion Kross down. They're one of the first units, so to speak, and he's definitely the first individual to really expose some of the weakness of Karrion Kross, but ultimately Karrion Kross still comes out looking like a fucking destroyer. And what I love about him is he's not over the top. He doesn't do ridiculously flashy stuff. For me, AEW's answer to Karrion Kross is Lance Archer, and I think Lance Archer is a fucking megastar. I love him dearly, but there are little things that make me appreciate Karrion Kross just that little bit more. I don't need to see Lance Archer doing the Undertaker walk and then moonsaulting off. Yes, it's fucking impressive and it's incredible, but it just doesn't need to be done. You're a monster. Why do you need to do that stuff? Karrion Kross, much more simpler, much more grounded, much more effective. I know he can do some great shit as well. That Saito suplex through the announce table, for me, is one of the best announce table spots I've seen in the modern era. I said it. Sorry, but find me something that looked more destructive but more realistic, because we've seen great stuff, you know, Kevin Owens flying off of, you know, Yorks and pallets and all sorts of things, but this was just violent, and it made you think, oh, Jesus, like he just fucking smashed his face and his neck and his upper body through that table with a violent manner, and then he finishes him off with that brilliant roaring elbow, that forearm square in the back of the head. Simple and effective and violent, but yet still makes you jump out of your seat. And that's going to look fantastic on the main roster when he starts delivering that to some of your bigger stars. Brilliant stuff. Great main event. And it wasn't even the end of the show. The emotion. I can't take this, honestly. It is genuinely heartbreaking. And for me, this is the best storyline in wrestling, period, right now. Adam Cole comes out, of course, to address the situation involving Kyle O'Reilly. And he essentially says that he's jealous of Kyle O'Reilly. He hates the fact that Kyle got all the opportunities and he didn't. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing of sorts, but he pretty much says that he made these opportunities for himself. And that's why he's going after Finn Balor. Roderick Strong comes down. Roderick Strong is coming out of his shell even more. There was a real question mark over Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish for a long time when they first got into the Undisputed Era of, oh wow, how are they going to cope with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly's wicked charisma? And they've actually done fantastically well, and I'm really excited to see what happens when Bobby Fish gets back. I assume he's injured, which is a shame. I know he does have quite a few injuries, but this segment had so much emotion and feeling, and it didn't drag on like so many other things. This wasn't a, you know, and this isn't just AEW with this, WWE's main roster in particular. It wasn't like a 20-minute Seth Rollins monologue where you're like, oh, just get on with it, mate. Yeah, I'll have the carrot soup. Huh? Like, you know, it was succinct and it got to the point, and you immediately felt the pain of Roderick Strong coming out and saying, oh, you're sorry? You're sorry now? You know, why are you doing this? Why are you fucking destroying us? And there's this moment where he just breaks down and starts crying, Adam Cole. And you think, you kind of believe him to a certain extent, at least if you're not a massive smark and you want to suspend your disbelief. Because I love to be a mark when I watch this stuff. And just that moment where they hug and you think, it's going to be okay. Maybe they're going to split them. You know, maybe Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are going to go back to me and Red Dragon. Maybe Roderick Strong and, you know, and Adam Cole are going to do their thing. Now, obviously, Finn Balor comes down and interrupts, and Roderick Strong and Adam Cole kind of see him off, or mostly Adam Cole obviously super kicks Finn Balor. And then, obviously, they go back to embracing, like I said. And just when you think it's okay, whoa! Right in the plums and right in our feels. Pain. It's actually too much to bear. They have been one of the biggest, if not the biggest reason why NXT has been so magical for so many years now. And it's just grown and grown and grown. And you felt like they were lifers and you felt like they were going to be on the main roster. No. Eli blows him, and then there's that iconic image of him just ripping off the Undisputed Era dog tags. You're so stupid, Roddy. We're all stupid. We all believed in you, Adam. Why are you doing this, man? Why are you doing this to me, bro? It was brilliant. Masterful storytelling. And I'm sorry, but I'm about to watch AEW Dynamite. I'm looking forward to watching it. I think it's a fun show. but they're not going to get me emotionally invested like that, and it's a shame that the ratings don't relate to that. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know if you watched NXT. Let me know what you thought of NXT, and ultimately make sure that you tell your friends about this YouTube channel, because we're very close to 300 subs, and when we do get to 300 subs, it's t-shirt giveaway time, baby! Yes, indeed. You get one of these, or maybe a t-shirt of your choosing at prowrestlingtees.com/WrestlePlug. But for myself, Aaron Nix, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug.